So when we were in chapter 15, we talked about how uh, waves on a string would react if the end was connected or uh, connected to a transition, how the waves would work. So waves traveling on a string. And if the string is tied, we found that the reflected inverted. But if the string is untied, the reflected was not inverted. Well, the same thing happens when we dealing with two materials of uh, different refractive indexes. So in this first case, if N2 is greater than N1, then this acts like a tied end. And so we have an inversion when the wave bounces off. But when N2 is less than N1, then it's like the end is untied and there is no inversion. So if we mix these together, we can come up with some very interesting phenomena, especially in thin film. Notice how in the case of a bubble, you get these strange colored ribbons. And the way that this works is as the light comes into and hits the surface of the bubble, some of the light is reflected, some of the light is transmitted, and then when it gets to the water surface, oil and water surface, some of that light is then reflected back. And depending on the interference, constructive or destructive, you can get these bands. And remember that wavelength and refraction are dependent upon frequency. So if the frequency of light is different, the wavelengths are different, you get these different bands of color in the bubble because of this oil and water. Now it also works if we have a plano-convex lens on top of a piece of glass. You will find also that you get these bands of color, and it's due to the same kind of phenomena where the light comes in, it hits this boundary B, and some of it reflects, some of it is transmitted, and then it reflects off of C and comes back through. So these boundaries, the light, some of the light's going to be um, refracted, or reflected either in phase or out of phase based on this principle here. So if N2 is greater than N1, it's inverted. And so here, in this case, N2 at point B is going to be greater than the air in N1, so it inverts here. And then here, you get a non-inverted because it's going to reflect and then not inverted. So you're getting these color patterns due to this interaction with the light as it bounces off these small spaces.